Hi, I'm Celeste, and welcome to Find Your Purple. Today is day 38 of my 40 days of reflection, and I'm continuing on the subject of faith. It says in Matthew 21:22, "And whatever you ask for in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." Now that's a pretty big promise, and God doesn't lie, so it's back to earlier comments. If it's in the Bible, it's true, and God can't lie. So this says you can have anything you want if you have faith. And again, in the courses I'm reading, the sermons I'm listening to, and I'm telling you, some of them over and over, faith is by hearing, and hearing through the Word of Christ. So number one, you got to be reading the Bible. But two, there's a difference between hope and faith. Hope is future tense, and it's necessary. It'll say in the Bible, it is a good thing. You're hoping, you're putting it out there as a future. Faith is always in the now. Believing is in the now. People will often say, I'll be hoping and praying for you, which is great, but they're not taking it far enough. They can be hoping and praying and believing for your healing. But it's truly has to be the belief mode. They have to take it that next level. And that's where a lot of times people will drop the ball. And they might want to believe and even think they believe, but do they really believe? And it takes work, and it takes, you get to where you can be the George Muller, the Carrie Ten Boom, the different evangelists that live by faith. And the recent one I had talked about was Miracle on the Mountain, the book, where there are people who are living by faith, that they rely totally on God telling them where to go and God providing how it's going to be paid for, what they're going to eat, who they're going to meet. And it's part of why some healing doesn't take place, as I understand it, because a lot of people hope for healing. They're hoping it'll happen, but if they stay in hope, then they're not getting to the point of belief and faith. And if you're interested in pursuing that, Charles Capps was where I started. His mentor, I guess, was Kenneth E. Hagin. And there's hours and hours of sermons and books and workbooks and all of that out there. And I get in the very basics of prayer and faith. And that's kind of what I'm working with as I read the Bible, so that I can get that into me. And it's all about getting it in to where it's part of me. And I think that's not something that comes without effort and without work. But in the Bible it says, God promises that if you come after him and ask for it, he will give it. And you can have anything you ask for if you believe. But that if you believe has to be a true belief, an Abraham kind of belief, not a Thomas kind of a belief. I think we often say, I'll believe it when I see it. And that's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to believe it before you see it. And that's the other thing is there's something out there called the Copper Scroll Project. If you ever want to look it up, there's more and more information getting out there, and like even the movie A Case for Christ that was written came from the book, an atheist who tried to prove Christ didn't exist and to blow holes in the Christian theory, but ultimately everything he did proved that Christ did exist and did die and did resurrect, and then he became a believer. Well, I love watching those things, and the Copper Scrolls, it's pretty fascinating. I think, in fact, I'll keep this one short, and I'll tape another one right now on the Copper Scrolls, just so you can know what I'm talking about. So I'll close it for today. As always, grab your cup of tea, sit back, and let's start sharing. Until next time, bye-bye.